Hey everybody, welcome. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started. I know some of us are still logging in, but let me start this meeting. So today we're going to be talking about some review, right triangle trigonometry, April 27th. Again, this session will be recorded. My expectations again is active listening. One mic, be kind, both in the comments, right? And also like outside the comments if you're participating. Respect different ideas and participate. I will be adding today's Zoom meeting as a credit in Power School. So do make sure that you are participating. Let me just add in Bruno and Shannon right now and Diana. And again, please be present. So try your best to be out of distractions and things like that. Again, we're going to be using the chat mostly to share our ideas, right? If you really want to, no one's used this yet, but nobody has used the raise the hand option to participate and to audibly share. You could use that if you want. Let me know. You just raise your hand if you're able to do that, or just put it in the chat that you want to be unmuted. But here's our agenda today. So we're going to have a quick check-in question. We're going to review some trig. We're moving on to a new unit. I don't know if we'll have time for the Kahoot because I did want us to take some notes today. So you're going to write some examples to review a bit of some right triangle trig. And then we're going to, tonight as a reminder, you do have a task due at 11:59 p.m. So those are just what's happening today. So again, this is how our week is looking like. So we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Remember, yesterday our artifact was due. I still need to like look through those, grade them, let you know if you're proficient or not. I'm going to be using Thursday and Friday to grade the artifact. But today we're moving on to a new unit. And for that new unit, we're going to kind of go back into trig and review some trig. So that's how the outline of the week is going to look like. And I'm going to say this, that if you still want to get your artifact proficient, it's up to you if you want to continue working on your artifact, but then you want to do it on your own time, since as a class, we're going to be moving on to the new lesson, the new chapter. So again, the artifact was due yesterday. I recommend if you haven't submitted that yet, turn it in. Better late than never. So that I could give you some a grade first off, and also give you feedback on it as well. All right. Let's jump into our check-in questions. So we'll do a bit of connecting. Okay, so here's our check-in question. And again, you're going to be using the chat to participate. What is something that you like but everybody else hates? I could go ahead and I'll verbally share what I like and everybody else hates. For me, it's this. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this candy. It's called Abba Zaba. A lot of people hate it, but I actually really like this candy. It has like a vanilla taffy with a peanut butter center. So that's something I like that everybody else kind of hates. So you could go ahead and use the chat. Okay, so Juan likes pineapple pizza. Dylan reading. I like reading too. Fortnite. Never played that. Cats. Oh no, a lot of people are dog people. Quarantine. BTS. I like minding my business, so a lot of people don't like minding their business, Diana, I guess. Emily Willis. NBA Youngboy. So that's something you like that everyone doesn't like? Okay. Gangnam Style? I was like, I don't know. Oh, Angel. Oh, Russ the Rapper, Leisha, I don't know. And again, please make sure that you are participating in our check-in. This is actually the way I'd be taking attendance, and like as you're responding, that's how I'm taking attendance, because I usually download the chat. So just make sure you participate, even if it's an I don't know or something like that. Great, thank you guys. And then do make sure you let me know who your name is because I see a V on here. I don't know who V is, but let me know who that is so I could give you credit for today. Lil Bean? I don't know. Okay, great. So great. We're gonna go ahead and move on from our check-in question. Does your name have to keep popping up in the chat though? Usually if I do the check-in, yeah, or I ask a question, yeah. I'm not gonna ask it often today. But there might be sometimes I might be asking a question for you, Faith. All right, so we're gonna be reviewing some trig. I did put in that we might have a Kahoot. I don't know if we'll have time for that, but we'll see. This right now, I'm gonna review some trig with you. You do not have to write this part down. I'll let you know what's the parts that you wanna write down. So right now, this is just quick thing. So trigonometry, we kind of talked about this like I don't know, it was like November or something, but we talked about how like we break up the word in Greek, the trigonal part means triangle, the metry means measure. And basically, trigonometry is a branch of geometry that studies the lengths and relationships of angles in the triangles. So that's just a little bit of review. Again, you don't have to write this one down. Not this yet. Yeah, this slide, not yet. This one, if you want to, go ahead. But you don't have to write this part yet. There's just a little bit of background of what trigonometry is. And then you will have to take notes once the example hits, Nayeli. These, I think you want to write down. So actually this part, yes. So here are the 6 trig ratios that you want to have down. I put to memorize or you want to have down. There are 6. So at this point on this slide, yes, you want to write this down. Will the notes be turned in specifically for today? No. So I'll be honest, no. But today your task that you're going to turn in by 11:59 p.m. Will be about this. So you want to make sure you understand how to do this. So this part, y'all, please write this down. I would even copy down the triangle because again, remember, it's important how you label your triangle. Like for example, the side opposite of my angle, we call opposite. The longest side is your hypotenuse, or it's also opposite the right angle. And the remaining side is adjacent. And then Abel says, can we just take pictures? I think that's fine. Yeah, you could take pictures. If you're on your phone with Zoom, you could take a screenshot. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. You could take pictures, yeah. So here are the 6 you need to know. It's sine, cosine, tangent, which you all kind of had some exposure to in geometry. And then you have cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So here are in the blue are kind of like the new ones that we barely talk about. These are the reciprocal ones in blue. So here's your first 3 basic. You have sine, which is opposite over hypotenuse. You have cosine, which is adjacent over hypotenuse. You have tangent, which is opposite over adjacent. And then here are the reciprocal ones. So I call them reciprocal because notice cosecant is basically the reciprocal of sine. See, it's just the flip of it. Secant is just a reciprocal of cosine, and cotangent is just a reciprocal of tangent. So those are the 6 that you need to know. And then let me just leave this here for those who are taking their notes, or Abel, if you want to take your photo, you can do that too, as long as you have this down. Let me leave this for a bit. Bruno says y'all know how to screenshot. By the way, Bruno and everybody else, I did put like a screenshot of this in the task today. So even if you don't get this down, it's going to be in your task. So maybe I could just move on from it. But I put this in the task itself. Okay. The part that you probably want to screenshot is, yeah, I even put the example in. But yeah. Okay, next thing, SOHCAHTOA. You guys remember this from geometry. That's just a helpful way to memorize the basic 3. But notice it doesn't help you with the reciprocal ones. It just helps you with sine, opposite over hypotenuse, cosine, adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent, opposite over adjacent. So it just helps you with the first 3. That's just a little bit of a reminder that we have something called SOHCAHTOA. And then we're going to jump into the example. So right now what I have is an example of a triangle we're going to do together. And actually, yeah, I realized I did take a screenshot of this and I put it in your task today. So you don't have to necessarily copy down this example, but if it helps you, copy it down. And I'm going to do this and you're going to follow along and ask me questions. Is what's going to happen. So right now I circled my angle A in this picture because I'm going to be asking you questions about angle A, like what is sine of A or what is tangent of A. The first thing you want to do is usually you circle the angle that we're looking at and then you label your sides. Let me find my pointer. So for example, the side opposite of the right angle right here, or the longest side, is called your hypotenuse. So we put an H right there. And then Juan, you said 40 is opposite, right? That's correct. So where's my pointer at? Yeah. So yeah, the side opposite of angle A, see here's angle A and it's opposite. Like you draw a line from angle A to the side that's opposite. The 40 is called opposite. Yes, that's correct. And then for everybody else in the chat, what would be this remaining side called? What would be the length 30 called? Adjacent. Good. Thanks, Wendy, Dylan, Raven. Yeah, all of y'all saying adjacent. You are right. That's the last side and the remaining side. Usually I do adjacent last. So yeah, this part, adjacent. Great. So now that we have the sides labeled, basically you'd be ready to start answering some questions. These, because I'm using Google Slides, it kind of just did it for us. So for example, sine A is going to be 40 over 50. That's because sine is O over H. O is 40, H is 50. So O over H, 40 over 50. And if you reduce that, is 4 over 5. So that's how you find out what sine of A is. Tangent of A is going to be, if you look here, it's O over A. So that's how we got O over A. So 40 over 30, and that reduces to 4 over 3. So that's just these two examples. Let me just see if anyone has any questions on that in the chat. Let me just look at the chat. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions on how I got sine A or tangent of A for this picture? And if not, I'll just give us a little bit. And if not, we'll just move on. It says, are we gonna go over how to find angles or also how to find missing sides? Actually, just for today's, like that will be later on. Angel, for today's lessons, we're just gonna do this basic. And then Faith, you said, wait, you divided them? Yeah, so this right here is division. Yeah, sorry about that. It's because I'm using Google Slides. This is division is what I'm doing. And then I divided them because if you look at the definition, for example, for sine, it's O over H. So you have to divide the O opposite side over the hypotenuse side. So yes, division. Let me know if there's any more questions on those. I did the same here. It's also division. All right, if no questions on these two, again, you could always ask me later, but let's move on to the last question. So the last one, I'm gonna get rid of this actually. Notice how my circle went away. See, I'm getting rid of my sides because the next question is now gonna ask us about angle C. Because now I'm looking at a new angle. Notice that now the side opposite of angle C is now going to be this one. This is now gonna be called opposite. This will still be hypotenuse, and the remaining side will be adjacent. And let me get my pointer. So again, now the next question is going to ask us about angle C. That means I kind of erased all my labelings because now I need to relabel. The side opposite of angle C now is going to be the 30. This is opposite. This side is still going to be hypotenuse because it's still across the right side, the right angle. So that's still going to be H. This is O. And the remaining side now for this case is going to be adjacent. So again, when I switch what angle I'm looking at, I have to relabel it. It kind of doesn't pop up for me though, because again, I'm using Google Slides instead of my PowerPoint. Yeah, so Angel, the longest side will always be hypotenuse. Thank you, Abel, for reconfirming that. But basically for this next one, take a look. If I was asked what is sine of C is going to be now 30 over 50 because 30 is now opposite and 50 is hypotenuse. So 30 over 50, which is the same thing as 3 over 5. That would be sine of C. So notice how sine of A is different from sine of C because it depends which angle you're looking at. You're going to have to relabel the triangle. All right, so now here's the example that we did. Again, I'm going to put a screenshot of this in your task today. And let's see if anyone has any questions on what I just did. Otherwise, if you just got here, I see Diego, if you just got here, you just want to, I'm going to upload the recording. You can go back to how I did this example. But let me know if anyone has any questions on these for those who are here for this. Well, Diego, you could still participate and I'll still give you credit for joining because we're going to be jumping into a Kahoot game and you could still get your credit in that. So it's okay. All right, I think if we don't have any more questions on the actual example, let's jump into the Kahoot. Now, great, so actually this will give me a better opportunity to take attendance. So when I play the Kahoot, and if you have trouble logging into it, just let me know in the chat. But when I play the Kahoot, use your real name. So if you want credit for your participation, use your actual name for the Kahoot. If you don't, I can't give you the credit. So please use your real name. And in addition, make sure that, yeah, just don't interrupt the game of Kahoot. That would be great. Let's see how it goes, because if it doesn't work out, though, it just doesn't work out. But I'm hoping that we could all play. I'm hoping. All right, so be prepared to log in with your real name. We're going to be playing this. All right, so please use your real name as you're logging in. Thank you, Dylan. Dylan's in. Ricardo's in. Shannon's in. Oh yes, and then top 3, we could get an A+ today instead of a regular old A if you get top 3. Make sure you use your real name. I can't give you credit. And again, please don't ruin it for the rest of us, because if this doesn't work, we can't play. All right, guys, please use your real names. For example, like, you know, this part's not a real name. Okay, so Steven, cool, Abel, we got 20 people in. Let's see how many people are in our chat. So we have 26 people in the chat. So it looks like I'm waiting for 4 more people to get into the Kahoot. And if you have issues, like you can't log in or whatever, just put it in the chat. Thank you, Raven, for putting in the class code. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started because it's 12:20. I want us to. We could do that next time, Diego. It's just gonna be kind of harder, like how you guys are gonna organize your teams if you guys are in the chat. We could do that next time, though. I don't know how to do it though. All right, we're gonna go ahead and begin. I hope since Raven put in the code in there, so you could just log in late if you're still trying to log in. Let's begin, y'all. And then again, I'll cut the game short if we don't, have time. But here we go. Okay, so now you're gonna name the side opposite of angle A. Here's angle A. What is the side opposite? Oops. Okay, great. 18 of you got that correct. Oh yeah, I guess side BC is also correct. So 18 of you got that correct. Awesome. Let me hold up a second. No, never mind. I was going to unmute, but you know that. Great. So we have Stormy, Raven, Shannon up at the top 3. Okay, we can make it top 5. Let's do top 5 can get an A plus instead of an A for your participation today. Okay, name the side opposite of angle B in the triangle. What's the side opposite of this angle? Okay, cool. About 17 of us got that correct. Okay, remember side opposite of B is going to be little b right here, for those who got that wrong. All right, next. So we still have, okay, we got a new top 3 here. So we got Dylan, Shannon, and Edgar as a new top 3. What is the side opposite of angle C? So what is the side opposite of this angle? Awesome. So I'm seeing an improvement in that. And let me just go into the chat. Hold up. One second. Okay, sorry. All right, let's go on to the next question. Let's see if who's our top 3 now. So it's Darian, Dylan, and Edgar is the new top 3. Okay, so now you got to name the side that's adjacent to A. What side is adjacent to angle A? Be the adjacent side. Okay, about 14 of us got that correct. So again, adjacent to A, that means the side that's kind of right next to A. It can't be this side. I mean, I know this side's touching A, but this side is your hypotenuse always. It's also the longest side, so that means this has to be the adjacent, so little c. Okay, look at that. So rearrangement. So now we now have Raven, Darian, and then Shannon in our top 3. Now you're gonna name the side that's adjacent to C. So here's C. What side is adjacent to C? Good, look at that improvement, awesome job. So yeah, here's C, the side adjacent is right here. All right. All right, so we have Raven, Wendy, Darian, so Raven still has that top first place there. Okay, now y'all, trig, what is sine of A now with the same triangle? So sine of A. Remember, opposite over hypotenuse is sine. Okay, so that one a little less got that correct. So sine of A is opposite over hypotenuse. So here's A. Side opposite is little a. hypotenuse is B, so that's A over B would be sine of A. So that's why this one's correct. All right, let's see. Now we got Raven, Juan, and Shannon as our top three. Again, Raven's still holding that top position. What is cosine of A? So cosine, y'all, adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. I'm seeing some improvement. So a lot of us said 16. Awesome. Cosine adjacent over hypotenuse. Look at this picture. So it's cosine of A. Adjacent is C. And your B is your hypotenuse. So C over B. Okay, not much movement there, but Wendy got into top three. Okay, tangent. Remember, guys, opposite over adjacent is tangent. Opposite over adjacent. Hey, look at that. So 18 of us got that correct. That's really good. And again, if you got that wrong, that's okay. We can always learn from it. But tangent of A, so opposite A over adjacent C. So A over C was our answer. All right, so Leisha looks like she got into the top three. We're gonna do one more question and then that will be it. So sine of C now. What is sine of C? So now we're looking at sine of this angle, sine of C, opposite over hypotenuse. All right, cool. So 17 of us got that. So, okay, look at that. So our top five kind of stayed fixed. So top five, you guys will be getting an A plus. Oh, look at that. Angel had an answer streak. So last thing that I want y'all to do is in the chat, because we have 26 participants. 1 second, let's see. Because I want to make sure that I take attendance. 1 second. Yeah, can we like say, can you put here? It's gonna make it easier for me. I know I have my Kahoot, but yeah. So I have Diego, Angel, good. Please put here so I could take attendance. I'm gonna save this chat and then give you your credit. Great, please put here. And once you put here, go ahead and log out because I'll be saving the chat. And then I hope you guys have a good time. Remember, our assignment is due tonight at 11:59. You guys can start logging out after you put that you're here. I'll be saving the chat. Let me also screenshot the top five. Great, thank you, Perry, I got you. Thanks, Laisha, you're here and you're also top five. Thanks, Tony. Again, make sure you put here if you are here, because I'm going to be using this for attendance. Thanks, Stephen. All right, y'all. See, I'm going to be ending the meeting. So it looks like I got everyone's attendance. Have fun. I have to stop share.